Greetings and salutations, YouTube family and friends. T-Rev Vlogs here. What's up, guys? Previously, on Convention Memories, I told you about my first cosplay costume, why I chose that character, the process to going about getting the costume, and where I was able to debut it at the Halloween party that we had, and then my first solo cosplay experience at Anime Week in Atlanta. So now that I've actually been able to cosplay at a convention, where do we go from here? Well, as it turns out, not long after I got back from Anime Week in Atlanta with my friends, we found out that there was going to be a local anime convention coming to St. Louis, hopefully to stay. On this episode of Convention Memories. So as I stated, not long after we got back from Anime Week in Atlanta, there were murmurings in the local college scene that there was going to be this convention that was going to be bringing anime to St. Louis. Now, what they had done was it was like a local college group that had started just kind of one-day gatherings at their local campus, and people started exhibiting interest in wanting to have a 3-day convention like all the other ones that were around the country. Now, since they had never really done anything like that before, they wanted to partner with a local science fiction convention and kind of mishmash both of them together. So, once they decided which convention they wanted to go with, Show Me Con Anime St. Louis 2007 was born. And by the time we found out that was going on, our Sashomaru had come back into the picture, and we got our friend that I traveled with to Anime Week in Atlanta to get her Sango costume off the ground. So we had myself as Moroku, my friend as Sashomaru, and my other friend as Sango. So we had a trio of Inuyasha cosplayers going. I had other friends coming along as well, but not everybody went in with the Inuyasha group. I had another friend of mine who did Ranma from Ranma 1/2, and I even somehow managed to get my college roommate to cosplay. Very first time he'd ever gone to a convention. He didn't even know what it was about, but he borrowed some of my karate gear and went as Johnny Cage. But he was recognized the moment he stepped out of the parking garage, so good for that. But before we even got to the convention, I knew this was going to be a very interesting experience. Unlike Kunacon, where we decided to commute from our hometown, which is about 30 miles away from the city, and get up there that way, we decided that I was just going to have my friends stay at my apartment up at the campus, which was a whole lot closer to the location for the convention, and we were just going to commute back and forth from there, which turned about a 30-minute commute into something more like 10-15 minutes, so a whole lot more convenient that way. On the way out of my apartment, I noticed we got a few sideways glances and a few giggles from the women's soccer team as they were practicing out in the practice field. I guess they had never seen cosplay before. And then once we got to the car in the parking garage, we heard a few people scream from the other side of it, "Hey, where's Inuyasha?" Because, of course, it was just Sashomaru, Sango, and Moroku without the titular character. So, me, in the stroke of brilliance, in my personal opinion, I just hollered back, "He's not in this episode!" It must have worked because they started cracking up, so points for the cosplayers. But the funniest part had to have happened at the first intersection on the way to the hotel. Now, the college that I went to at the time was a Jesuit university or a Catholic university, so there were priests and nuns usually about. Well, at that stoplight, pulling right next to us, was a car full of nuns. So they turned to look at us, and you've got a Japanese monk, a demon, and a demon slayer all in a car together. And remember, my buddy is all decked out in full Sashomaru, face paint, wig, and everything. So we look over to them and smile and wave, and Josh kind of gives this little as Sashomaru, and I'm sure one of the nuns just looked at us and were like, and I swear if they could have run a red light, they probably would have to get away from us, but I had never laughed so hard in my entire life. We scared those nuns unbelievably. So that kind of set the pace for the day. And when we got to the convention, of course, it was a wonderful time. We were received very well, and I kind of started to plant the seeds of making convention friends in the future. I hadn't really gotten the chance to meet anybody in the local St. Louis scene for anime because we really didn't have a scene yet. It had yet to be established. So I got the chance to start meeting people who I would eventually meet later on down the road and become pretty good friends with. So it was a great experience to get the social circle going in the anime community, if you will. And of course, being the only person in cosplay for a group was one thing, but having a group to cosplay with was even better. We even got to go to our first official character photo shoot where everybody from Inuyasha was there to get pictures. So that was a really fun time, and like I said, it was the beginning of growing the circle of friends in the anime community in the area, and cosplaying as a group was a lot of fun, and I knew I wanted to do it again in the future. So, we've got the cosplay costume, we've got the group, and we've been to an anime convention in the area. So what comes next? How about a bigger group from a different series this time? But that's going to be on the next episode of Convention Memories. So guys, don't forget, if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe down below, ring the little notification bell, leave me a comment down below, and tell me about some of your convention experiences. I want to hear some of your funny stories. Any costume mishaps, any interactions with the public? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys about it, as I always do. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you stay tuned for the next episode. That's going to be another fun one as well. But that's really all I've got to say about that. So until next time, I'll talk to you soon, and take care. Bye-bye.